major sidetrack into the video. If you want to go watch that, watch it. There's a lot of different random thoughts I have, lots of random shit. I do this a lot, and sorry, it's just how I work and who I am. So I get sidetracked easily, but you know, still fun. And once again, thank you people for the subs. Just you guys are awesome. 12 subs in a very short amount of time. That is fucking huge, honestly. Most people have to work for like a year probably to get 12 subs, and I've worked for maybe 4 or 5 months. And it's it's really just nice because I'm I said this in an earlier video, but unfortunately that recording session decided not to record my audio. It just recorded the gameplay, and it was 40 minutes, and probably 10 minutes of it was just a heart-to-heart. So for this, I think I'm just going to do a heart-to-heart part here. Probably, I'm just gonna make this part a separate video. Yeah. If I actually, I'm gonna keep this. No, I'm gonna fuck it. I'll just put this at the beginning. But so, thank you guys so much. You guys are just amazing. I love you guys a lot. You guys are what makes this worth it. Cause this would be a dream job, but I'm not gonna do this as my job most likely, unless I get insanely famous and like really fast. Cause I want to be a game and fish agent, but still knowing that people are out there and people enjoy what I'm doing is just something that will always be grateful. That I will always be grateful for. I do. People are just amazing, and you know, you guys are awesome. Nuts of the Chest is awesome. Thank you so much for sending subs my way. If it wasn't for you, I'd have to work a lot longer. I couldn't read these stories that you know I love so much, and you you are just amazing at this stuff, and you really are just, even if you can't write perfectly, even if you fuck up sometimes, it's more than worth it to be able to read and to speak these out loud. And because of you, you've helped me get subs, and because of you subs, you've helped me want to continue to do this. And I love you for that, and you guys are amazing. Hey peoples, once again it is I, the great and amazing Darth Corruptus, and the most modest thing ever too. So today we're gonna be working on chapter 3 of Mortality, the Immortal Watcher by Nutsofthechest. As a disclaimer, I own none of this other than the video. Nutsofthechest owns rights to every single character he has made, and Rick Riodan owns the rest. So don't sue me or him. If you want to say Rick Riordan, go ahead, but you're a retard if you do. Um, Now, I am once again sorry for not posting in a while. I'm going to be working and working and working. I was unable to record yesterday. I recorded the day before that, but I forgot to upload yesterday. I'm sorry for that. But I wasn't able to record yesterday because it was the day of silence. Now, the day of silence is a thing at my school, which is if you're learning ASL, if you know ASL, or anything like that, you cannot talk the entire day. As soon as you walk onto campus, and as soon as you leave it. And it's basically like our final for ASL, and I fucked up twice. It shouldn't drop my grade. I am considered one of the best signers for first year. Yay. But still, I've only been learning it for about half of a year now, so. Well, okay. Who cares about the all staff fucking meeting bullshit? But so, yeah. No, enough of this. I always talk a lot at the beginning before I get in. And, well, let's get into the story. What is that? She asked. Happy birthday, I said as I ruffled her hair again as Armisen seemed shocked. You remembered, she said as I shrugged. She is my only daughter, and child kind of hard to forget. Also, I have built up quite a few birthday presents for the birthday girl, I said as Zoe looked as shocked as Armin said, You got me present? You got me presents? She said in a voice that threatened to break into happy tears any second. Of course I did. I couldn't just give away any of them away. English is... Oh, fuck, heart attack. Of course I did. Just couldn't give any of them to you since I was supposed to remain a secret, I said as she sniffled a little, as Arma smiled at me. You know you could have just had Hermes give them to me and I would have delivered them to her. I said as I shook my head. No. If I am going to give my daughter a birthday present, I want to do it while I am there, I said firmly as Armis rolled her eyes. Also, I got you a few puppies and they kind of got old, so I don't quite have 5,016 gifts for you. I said she just laughed. What in the world would I do with a puppy? She asked as I looked for armors for support here. I think it was the thought that counts plus. They were good dogs, okay? Ooh, I'm gonna be getting a new dog soon. We're gonna be driving out to California, to a reserve down there. Well, really a rescue, but they call it a reserve. And we're gonna be getting me a new dog, and I'm very happy. It's not that big. It's only 40 pounds, and you're like, 40 pounds? That's a pretty damn big dog. I'm used to like 140 pound, okay? I had a record-breaking German Shepherd, alright? But so, back to the story. I said as Zoe just laughed harder as the hunters all seemed to watch us converse like a family should. Also, Artemis, next time, let's have an actual party instead of being inside a damn ice wasteland. She smiled and nodded. Sounds good to me. I could do for I could sound English, English, English. Sounds good to me. I could go for some cake, she said. Too much cake make you fat. Proper English and grammar. Nutsofthechest grammar, well, much good. I said as Armor shot me a glare, along with every hunter who enjoys cake, which was all of them. Now, those are some smart fucking people. Damn, son. Says the vegetarian, she says as I coughed. Then they looked at her like she was crazy. What are you talking about? I asked as it was her turn to look confused. The vegetarian soup, remember? You are a vegetarian, right? She asked me as I laughed. Are you kidding me? No, I am not. I simply didn't have any meat to throw in the stew. I did, but I was tired of eating penguin. I said as Atlanta looked horrified, as did everyone else in the elevator. What? You might think they are cute and cuddly, but they're delicious. If you make them properly, especially with a nice garnish. Atlanta started to shout as she covered her ears and started to. Okay, I will highlight this section of the screen you are looking at that Fuck, dude. Okay, Nuts, I love you. You're awesome. You're the best fucking thing ever. You are life. Not really, but he is my favorite fanfiction author, and I am in his debt. But uh, you need some help, Mr. Nuts at the chest. You need some English, my boy. Oi, 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 oi. But so yeah. Oh, fuck, what do I want to say? But did she go la 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 la? Is that what she did? Cause Alanta started to shout as she covered her ears and started to shout. Do you even grammar boy? Boy. Um. Oh, stop it! I said as the hunters all glared at me. You seriously ate penguins while you were here? Asked Artemis as I nodded. Yeah, tastes like chicken. I said as she gagged, as did Zoe. I said as she gagged, as did Zoe. But they're so cute. How could you do such a thing? As Zoe as I shrugged. By the way, fuck just doing that. I'm sorry for getting so sidetracked right here. But so I'm thinking of maybe like starting up a series where I basically just do this karaoke thing with a couple of different songs. My singing voice is not that, believe me, but it's a lot different from my talking voice. It's usually a little less gravelly, or depending on the song, it will be a little more gravelly. It can go a little higher, a little lower, but I don't pretend to think of myself as a good singer. I'm not, but I enjoy doing it, and I'm wondering if you people might enjoy watching that. So I may be starting that up soon. They probably won't be very long, maybe 15 minutes maximum. That's like three songs, unless I do Bohemian Rhapsody, then that's Bohemian Rhapsody and one song. Because let me tell you, Bohemian Rhapsody, long ass fucking song. Um, but so yeah. Hey, it's eat or be eaten out here. Believe it or not, I do enjoy food, even if I don't have to eat to survive. I said as she looked surprised. You don't have to eat? She asked me as I nodded. Oh damn, if you had a grandmother. I'm gonna put up a vine probably right here. If not, I'll edit it out. Okay. Lit vine, right? But so, uh, yeah. I'm kind of sad they took the vine down though. More sidetracked because I'm brilliant at this. Yeah, kind of a perk with the body I have. But let me tell you, it was basically the only thing keeping me alive when I had to deal with Armis's massive cravings. Let me tell you, she is hungry as Ares for a good fight when she's pregnant, I said with a shake of the head as Armis blushed with a solid gold. Anyways, looks like we're here. I said, just as the elevator reached the top of the tunnel, as it meet the uh, uh, what? Now where were we? Reached okay, at the top of the tunnel as it met the barren and flat wasteland of ice. All right, girls, put your gear on, Artemis said as the girls all put on their 2 layers of thick jackets and their goggles. Once they were all done, I looked at Artemis as she nodded as I tapped the door, and it slowly slid open, letting in the freezing air. I just led them outside as I noticed the wind was a little stronger than usual. As I looked around, I noticed all the hunters all looking at me as I stood untouched by the frost. How are you even alive? Asked one. Well, you wouldn't be dead yet. It would take probably about 5 minutes. I've been in much colder locations than this one, and right now we need to hurry. I can feel the wind picking up. There's a storm coming, I said as I looked off into the distance and saw massive black clouds that were quickly coming our way. We need to get to your chariot, quickly, I said to Artemis as she shook her head as I looked at her like she was insane. By the time we get to my chariot, the storm will be on us, and we won't even be able to take off. I know the limits of my chariot in flight, and that is more than it can handle. I will find a way to get us in the air. Is all you have to do is lead the way to your chariot, I said as she looked in my eyes for a moment and nodded. Girls, we have to make haste. If we get caught in a storm, we won't be arriving at Olympus until next year, she said as they all looked at one another and began to sprint as fast as they could towards the north. Optimus, see if you can call your chariot to meet us in the middle. We won't make it in time if you don't, I said as she nodded again and closed her silver eyes under her thick goggles and focused. It is done. Now, let's hurry, she said as we began to run after the hunters, who were all sprinting as fast as 50 miles per hour, some even faster, as they tried to run as fast as they could. But I quickly caught up to them as I held the straps of my backpack as I ran forward. It might have been an hour before the first hunter started to slow down, as her legs couldn't take it any longer. Okay, now that I fixed that problem, which it wasn't a problem at all, so it might have been an hour before the first hunter started to slow down as her legs couldn't take it any longer. But at this point, I could almost see the massive wall of white that was ice and snow picked up by the storm. I then saw Artemis run over to a girl and force her to chew on a frozen chunk of nectar. This went on for about 20 minutes with each girl, as they all got their own frozen chunk of nectar as they continued to run. Artemis, where's that chariot? I said as I looked at the storm. That was maybe only 30 minutes out, but this time the wind started to grow thick and white, as I could barely see the girls as that I ran behind. It is coming. Give it at least 40 minutes and it will be near us, she said, as she ran over to me and we continued on our way. That isn't fast enough. This storm seems to have a own, mind of its own. I said to myself again as I looked over to the storm. Artemis, did you happen to kill any black foxes or any foxes while you were out here? I asked her as she slowly nodded as I let out a large groan as it startled her. You just had to do that, didn't you? Great. Isn't it good to know that we have a god on our tail? I said as she looked at me like I was joking, but then she saw the serious face as she realized I wasn't. Why in the hell was I never told there were gods in this place? She yelled at no one in particular. Because maybe nobody ever thought to look this far south. To look this far south. Hmm. Look this far south. Anyways, we need to hurry or else this storm will be the last you ever see, I said as she gulped. Then I noticed a silver glow cover her and her hunters as they all began to sprint double their speed. I just looked at Artemis as she exhausted her energy reserve for using her godly power so far from home. But I knew it was the right thing to do. Come on and keep up, I said as she slowly nodded her head as I saw her fatigue slowly building faster. But as the 30-minute mark reached us, I saw we only had a minute before the wall of white reached us. Thankfully, though I could saw the shine of a silver light in front of us, as I could see, as I saw some very cold-looking stags pulling a chariot full of snow. Artemis, call your chariot this way. I need to stop the girls. I said as she nodded. She pulled back her power enhancer over the girls, as they all slowed down tremendously. I quickly shot in front of them and slid to a stop, as they quickly followed behind me. But their stops were less graceful, as most flopped to the ground in a panting messes. You lay on the ground too long and you will freeze to it, I said as they all got up, as the chariot pulled up, as the stags were quickly greeted by one tired-looking Artemis. Good stags, she said, placing her hand on one's head as the chariot began to shine a bright silver light, and suddenly a school bus sat in front of us, with blinking lights and everything. Just then I looked to my left and saw the wall of white was seconds on us. Everyone, down, I yelled as they followed my command, as an easily 100-mile-per-hour wind hit us. I could barely hear myself think over the noise of the wind as I covered my face to see if I could see the hunters. I could barely see their outlines in the pure white snow as I barely heard their screams from the wind. Everybody inside the bus, I heard in my mind from Artemis as I noticed the doors of the bus were glowing bright silver, that I could barely see them in the white. I just began to lift girls off the ground and push them in the direction of the door. Slowly, one by one, all the hunters made it on the bus as the storm raged on around us. I was the last one as I coughed hard and shed a layer of ice that built up on me. Is that everyone? I asked as I looked around, as I counted 20 hunters. Good. Everyone was here. No, wait, where's my lady? Phoebe asked through a break in her chattering teeth. I just turned my gaze outside in the now worsening storm as I cursed my dumb self. Got the hunters, but forgot the goddess. Whoopsies. I swear, one day the gods are going to be the death of me. Hold your stuff, I said as I tossed my backpack and messenger bag. Oh, hold my stuff, bleh. I said as I tossed my backpack and messenger bag to an unsuspecting hunter who sat in the front. Wait, Dad, where are you going? Asked Zoe as I noticed her very frostbitten face. I grimaced as I knew I was going to have to pull a favor from Apollo so none of the girls would get scars from this. I'm going to save your mother, I said as I opened the door once again. As I walked outside and closed the door, the only thing I could see was the roaring winds of pure white snow as it flew around us. As I noticed, it was gathering fast around the bus. Artemis! I screamed as I got no reply back as I head for the front of the bus. But I didn't find anything as I looked around. Then I realized the wind must have thrown her away from the bus, so I began to run in the front of the bus. I tried to find something like a human shape on the ground, but still I found nothing as I cursed myself. As I looked around harder until I saw a faint hint of silver, just as the wind blew a large new layer of snow over it. I ran forward quickly and began to use a little of my mana powers to remove the large quantities of snow in front of me. I just cursed myself for using them once again. I had made a promise long ago to never use my powers over man to help any god or goddess. But right now was not a time to keep promises, as the snow was thrown away, revealing a very pale-looking goddess. I was thankful for finding her as I bent down and picked up her now 13-year-old body. As I did, I felt her shivering violently in my arms as her thick polar bear coat had managed to be thrown away by the wind. Come on, Artemis, don't you die on me now. Who wants to be known as the goddess who dies in a snowstorm? I asked as I trekked back to the bus. Shut up. She whispered to me as I smiled. That's the spirit, I said, as I finally reached the bus and kicked the door free of ice as it opened before me. As I walked in, all the girls instantly had weapons in their hands as I was confused. What? I asked as they all realized it was me, as the girls all noticed the shivering mistress in my arm. Quickly, some of the daughters of Apollo took her from me and laid her down in the back seat since it was the biggest. Oh gods, look at her! One said as she was busy trying to find some of their resources that weren't frozen. Here, I grabbed my backpack that had been put in one of the seats as I pulled out a flask of hot cocoa with a nectar infusion in it. Have a drink some of this, I said, handing it over to one of the girls who glanced at it. Beside it was for the better good, as she accepted it and brought it over to the goddess. All I could do was sit down and notice most of my body was covered in a fine layer of pure white ice. I just rolled my eyes and flexed as it all broke free and fell to the ground. How long has the storm been going on? I asked one of the hunters who was watching the daughters of Apollo nurse the shivering Artemis. About 10 minutes, she said as I nodded. Zoe says she looked up from where she had her mother's head in her lap. I just walked over as I glanced at Artemis as I saw the special cocoa mix work its magic. But she wasn't out of the fray yet as she was shivering violently. Still, as they piled up her warm coats and blankets. Yes, Dad? She asked me as she was gently stroking Artemis's ice-cold head as her teeth chattered away. I need you to fly this chariot, I said as all heads turned to me as if I was joking, but my face said I wasn't joking. As she began to stutter, but, but I have never flown anything before, and flying the moon is kind of dangerous. Why don't you do it? She asked as I shook my head. Because I need to free the bus from the ice and stop a certain something outside from stopping us. But while I do that, I need you to fly this out of the storm. I will open up a path for you. I said as her face paled. I just sighed as I bent down as I took her free hand as I looked her right in the eyes. You are your mother's daughter, and that makes you a granddaughter of Zeus. You were born with the sky in you. Now please do it for your mother, if not me. She needs to see Apollo as soon as she can. She is very near severe. She is showing severe case of hypothermia, and even her godly body won't last long if she isn't near the flame of Greece. I said as Zoe looked into Bish. As I said as Zoe looked into my sea green eyes and gave me a straight face and nod as I smiled. Thank you, I said as I leaned over and kissed her forehead as she gave me a small glare. Now one, all of you get strapped in and keep Artemis safe. I have a god to deal with. Right, fuck off. I'm recording. Fuck off. How far over the edge would you like to be thrown? In case you're wondering, we're right next to a balcony, and it's pretty easy to throw people off of it.
I'll make sure you sterile.
Bullshit. Alright, now back to this. I said as I leaned over and kissed her forehead as she gave me a small glare. Now, okay. I said Zoe quickly exchanged places with another hunter as I walked in front of the bus, or as I walked to the front of the bus. Wait, Dad, she said as she sat in the driver's seat. I just turned to face her as she gave me a sad face. I want a chocolate cake when we all get back together, she said as I grinned at her. I guess some of my humor had passed along as well. Don't worry, I will get you the most chocolatey cake available, I said as she smiled at me. I then motioned to her to open the door. As she did, I jumped outside the bus and then the doors closed. I then began to task of freeing the bus as I walked each wheel to find it completely covered in ice. With a swift kick of my foot, the ice broke apart easily. Freed the tire as I went to each one and did the same. I even had to unclog the tailpipe as the bus then roared to life as I nodded at Zoe waved for the signal. Victor! I yelled into the howling wind as I waited for a moment, as I shouted it again. But as I did, I saw a shadow of human begin to emerge from the storm as he stopped a few feet in front of me. Bish! What
What?
happened to me telling Ray to fuck off and then you come here? Bish. It's alright though. And he help he's gonna stab me with a pencil. Anyways, you know what, fuck it.
I might do
Thanks
something much worse.
no. Anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. Peace. By the way, if anyone ever tells you worms taste like chicken, they don't. They taste like dirt if you get them out of the dirt. Let me tell you, not that good. Grasshoppers, if you get the right kind and yeah, clean them properly, delicious. Don't let anyone ever tell you snake tastes like rat or snake tastes like chicken. Nothing like chicken. If cooked bad, it's chewy, it's nasty, and it's ugh. If cooked properly, though, oh, don't ever let anyone tell you that dove, quail, pheasant, anything like those taste like chicken. They don't. And never in your entire life let anyone say that bear tastes like chicken. It does not. It's a touch, if seasoned properly, it's a touch spicy, but a very rich, deep, thick flavor. Oh, it's good. And this, you must believe me on. Never let anyone ever tell you that mountain lion tastes like chicken. It has its own unique taste. It's sweet. It's tangy. Without seasoning, it's sweet. It's tangy. It's delicious. Mm, it's the best meat out there ever. Oh my! I had it years and years ago. But I can still remember it. It was so good. And unfortunately, you'll only get a mountain lion tag if there's a overpopulation of them, and currently that's not happening. And then you have to be dumb enough to go out there and hunt a fucking mountain lion and stuff like that. The reason why we had mountain lion is because one of my neighbors was trying to catch a cat, a feral cat that was trying to kill his animals. So what he did is he sat out there with a nice little shotgun, waiting for that thing. He looked over, and it was an older mountain lion, a much older mountain lion, because he could no longer hunt deer. And he just looked over, and what the fuck is that? What the? Okay, moving on. But so, fuck, I feel like I'm having a heart attack or some bullshit. But so he turned over, he looked over, because it's, that little thing that, because humans can be told when they're being stared at through instinct. So he looked over. There was a fucking mountain lion leaping at him. Boom, right into the mouth. Oh my fuck, that was delicious. Unfortunately, that neighbor's dead now. He was a good man. He was a very good man. He died in a motorcycle accident. But he was a really good man. Um, all right, back to this.